Hi, folks. Welcome in. Seven Rivers Racing here in KQEG TV. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi. Getting down to the finale of the racing season here in western Wisconsin. But just when you thought it was over with, we have some huge weekends still coming up. Coming off a big race weekend at MIS, Rockford, La Crosse. That's the three racetracks you need to know about here over the next two weeks.
And these are, when you say big races, these are big races. People are coming from all over the Midwest and all over the country to these three tracks.
Well, looking at what happened, we're going to get things started right off the bat. MIS, Madison International Speedway, last weekend had 2 nights of racing, a Friday, Saturday night. Crowned some champions down there for the end-of-season races. Some of the names that we're going to read off are going to be very familiar because you're going to hear those same names racing at Rockford Speedway coming up this weekend and at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway next weekend as we crown champions to round out pretty much the racing season here in western Wisconsin. Feature winners from the first night at MIS, Bobby Wilberg in the late models, Roger Stevenson, the area sportsman, Andy Jones in the legends, Steve McBride in the bandits, and Kyle Stark, the international four cylinders. The second night of racing, I had some great racing from what I understand. We had Andy Jones win 2 nights in a row. He won the legends portion of that program. Dan Lenzing won the ASA Midwest Trucks, a name you're going to be seeing and hearing at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Sean Murphy also won on the second night along with Mark DePorter, the area sportsman. Alan Bukalewski won the short track championship, and Tony Velez got the Central States Super Cup in the Big Eights, which you're going to be hearing this name, Zach Riddle. Won while Jeremy Spoonmore captured the flag in the Mid-American Stock Car Series, another series you'll be seeing at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Coming up this weekend, I'm going to be taking off down for the Rockford Speedway, 46th Annual National Short Track Championships. Never been to the Rockford Speedway before.
I never have either, and I'd love to go down there and see it.
Well, then just gas it up and go. There's no one stopping you.
Yeah, I'm going to a Packer game.
Friday through Sunday, 12 divisions make up one great racing weekend. Greg McCarnes has things lined up down there. Talked to him the past couple of days, and in and out of meetings is Greg. On Friday, look at the divisions we're going to bring down there. He's bringing down there. You've got Sportsman, American Short Trackers, Weekly Warriors, Road Runners, Hornets and Bandits, the Figure 8 Series, Big 8 Series, ASA Midwest, ASA Sportsman, Illini Midgets, and the Illinois Vintage, along with the ASA Sportsman. A lot of racing going on, and then it's going to be capped off on Sunday down in Rockford with a 200-lap ASA Midwest Tour race.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. Those cars are fast. That's a fun track to be at. And Rockford is just incredibly exciting to watch a race from.
You got to kind of wonder because this is the weekend before Oktoberfest, the granddaddy of them all, to wrap up the racing season. Wonder how many of these guys in some of these classes, which we'll be seeing at La Crosse. You'll see the Sportsmen, the Hornets, Bandits, the Big 8 Series, ASA Midwest, and the Sportsmen get kind of jittery when they race those big 200-lappers, the 75-lappers, knowing, oh, I really can't do anything to this car because I really want to make it to Oktoberfest.
And when you say Oktoberfest, it really is the granddaddy and the end of the racing season for the short track guys, not just in the Midwest, but all over the country. When I spent a lot of time in the South, I really wasn't that familiar with Oktoberfest, and I'm from here, but I wasn't living around here. And the guys in the South know all about Oktoberfest. They were telling me all about it, and I just had to get back and see it once. And once we were here, we had to go every year.
Well, I think one of the major things, and we're going to bring in our guest for the entire program today, the general manager and track promoter of the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, Chuck Deary. Chuck, first off, thanks for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I know this is a very busy week for you on this week and next week, so I know finding some time for you was kind of sparse. You know, just rolling off of what Alan just said right there, he was from here, was working racing down south, and wasn't really familiar with Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Do you think that the internet has had a huge play in getting the word out, not just in this area and some local race fans that follow the ASA or the La Crosse late models? Do you think that's really had a bigger spectrum for everybody at La Crosse?
Well, it certainly hasn't hurt and stuff. The unique part about Oktoberfest is because it is the last big race of the Midwest. Many of the teams who have participated here this year or in the past have a huge following, and if you go on and look at our internet sites and stuff and see where people are chiming in to see what happened in last night's racing or whatever, it's amazing. It's throughout the world that people look at you know, how their favorite driver did or just keeping up with it. So it's amazing what an impact it is here in the Midwest, but there's a good following. throughout the world. And there are only maybe 2 or 3 from Guam that follow it,
right.
but there's someone from Guam that follows it, and it's very interesting to us, and we're very proud to be able to host such an event that the originators of the event, the Weers family, which is Oktoberfest is kind of a spin-off of the Rockford short track deal.
Right.
Those were the first 2 events of the Midwest, and Rockford was a couple years before Oktoberfest, and those guys had, Larry Weers and Hugh Deary had this foresight to see that these big shows at the end of the year, the fans wanted it, the drivers wanted it, and it's provided great racing entertainment throughout the years.
What would you say would be the biggest changes? In the next couple of segments, folks, we're going to break down. A matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we're going to break down each night of Oktoberfest, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a couple of changes this year. A couple of divisions have new names. A couple of the races that you're familiar with have been changed to different nights this year, and we're going to have Chuck explain those to us. We're going to talk about the big reunion that's coming up and all kinds of stuff Oktoberfest related here on the program. Again, our special guest, the promoter and general manager of the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, Chuck Deary, and we are going to get knee-deep into the 42nd annual Live Wire Oktoberfest Race Weekend when we come back after this break. Along with Al Losey, I'm Dan Dyker. This is Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.